everybody, my name is Fortefyre, and welcome to episode 16 of Fortefyre's Fyreside Chats. Today we are talking about Lethal Enforcers. Holy shit, a Konami game. I've always waited for, a different brand, but this was a community choice episode. Lethal Enforcers beat out Lee Trevino's Fighting Golf and PGA Tour Golf. It is what it is. Honestly, I'd rather play Lethal Enforcers every single day for the rest of my life than have to play any golf game that EA Sports put out. Anyway, Lethal Enforcers, man, I remember that in the arcades, and it was awesome. So growing up, I kind of started my experience with arcades at Kids Discovery Zone. I think that was a franchise kind of place that you could go to, and it would have like big jungle gyms you could climb in, and I played a lot of whack-a-mole because I'm a kid, what do I know any better? Funny story, I actually got stuck in one of the tubes, not physically stuck, just stuck in terror because I was a child, and my grandfather had to climb up and get me out. That was hilarious. He didn't find it very funny at all. I think I got in trouble for it. Anyway, if we move the dial a little bit forward, every summer I'd go to my grandparents' house for, hanging out before the school year. And they had a place called Coin Op Arcade. I think that's what it was called. It's been a long time, I don't remember. But if we explain the concept of this building, it was like two McDonald's that were stuffed together, shrank on the sides, and expanded. So that length from the jungle gym all the way to the bathroom. All right, it's pretty long. And inside of it, you'd walk in and you look to the left and there was a ticket counter, and you look to the right and there was a concession stand, but I never saw anything in the boxes. Like it's like they said, fuck it, they're here to play games, not eat pizza. And you'd walk in and they had the cyclones and a lot of the coin eating things, the things that you use your last two tokens on because you're like, fuck it, there's nothing else I want to play in here. And then on the right, they'd have the clown shooting game, and then the water jet games, and then the basketball games. And on the left, they'd have the ones from Chance, like you put in a coin and you'd spin around and you win so many tickets. Now, the meat and the bones was towards the middle of this store. They had games such as Jurassic Park, Time Crisis 2, Crisis Zone, House of the Dead. They had a lot of fighting games too, such as the X-Men 4-person game, the Tekken Tag game, Tekken 3 probably at that time. And it was awesome, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. But there was a game there that I never got a chance to play until like the last few times I went, and that was Lethal Enforcers. Now, bear in mind, I had experience playing shooting games in the arcades. I used to play the shit out of Maximum Force or Maximum Action. I think it was this, you always found it like 50-50 with Area 51 right next to the other Area 51 game. It was awesome. And if we really go super in the future, whenever I was almost, in my teenage years, there was an arcade in the front of the Mall of Louisiana, which is where I grew up in Baton Rouge. Most of my time was spent at the Mall of Louisiana because I'd go with my family. And they had a game called Police 911, and I didn't realize it at the time, but that was Lethal Enforcers 3, and it was awesome. You get on a pressure pad, and you could lean away from like bullets that were coming, and you needed to. There was another one that they made with the same concept that was a boxing game, and it was really cool. Unfortunately, that one shut down, and it was moved over to Gameware, which was a mom and pop shop in the Mall of Louisiana, and they had Silent Scope, and that game was fucking awesome. I love Silent Scope. Silent Scope is win. It's legendary. But enough out of me. Let's go back to 1992 and talk about when this game came out. So in 1992 on the Sega Genesis, it was a pretty decent year. Mortal Kombat came out, Tasmania, X-Men, the original X-Men came out, a bunch of great games. And Konami had an even greater year. They made like that World Championship soccer game that was the grandfather of Winning 11. They made Contra 3, Contra Force, my bad. Not Contra Hard. Contra is hard, but not hardcore, is the one I was talking about. As well as Axlay. So, all in all, it was a pretty good year regardless. Now, one of the things that made Lethal Enforcers as a home port stand out is that it was a light gun game. We are familiar with light gun games from our childhood. If you're one of the older audience members, you probably remember the Odyssey. And the Odyssey had this huge rifle that looked like it belonged in Dad's gun locker. Like it was a serious gun. It looked like a gun. It was just called the gun. But I'm not gonna spend $4,000 for a boxed Odyssey. That's just ridiculous. I don't even think I have a TV that plays it. But the gun that we traditionally remember is the NES Zapper. The NES Zapper came with, I think, Duck Hunt, the combo card. I don't know, I'd have to look into it. But we remember it for this sound. Everybody remembers that sound. Just pew, pew. Missed shot. Dog comes up and goes. I had a good childhood. Anyway, Sega had their answer to that. It was known as the Minister. It looked like a light phaser kind of thing. I think they tried it with their Sega Master System anyway. And I didn't know it, but I had a cart that was called the Minister 6 game cart. And I tried to play it with a gamepad and I didn't know what I was doing because you have to have a Minister. And I didn't have a Minister, so there was nothing I could do. However, there's another gun that was well known and is used in Lethal Enforcers, and it's known as the Konami Justifier. And this is what it looks like. It looks like a real 44. If you painted this, you could probably rob a bank with this. Don't do that, it's bad. Don't do that. But it was a pretty cool concept. and it played well for Lethal Enforcers. However, here's the caveat to that. I cannot play a light gun game and record it at the same time. The reason being is because this technology relies on CRTs, alright? I could easily record it, but then we'd get that really bad scan line that's traditional with old NTSC TVs. And you just see a big black block moving up and down, and the camera would try to get with it, and it would just look like shit. Thankfully, Lethal Enforcers has the option to use a joypad, so that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be using the joypad, and we're going to play through the game to our best ability. It's going to be tough because it's weird. I'm so used to shooting off screen and reload. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at that beautiful cart. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and take a look at my copy of Lethal Enforcers, and here she is. Alright, so I got this copy for $5, as you can see, from Rad Junk. It's an awesome store down here in Fort Walton Beach. It has everything from Atari 2600 all the way to contemporary games. Totally worth it. So, at the very top we have the simple Genesis logo. A lot of games had this to where it was just white and red and it's no big deal. Kind of early Genesis logo over here as well. The early Konami logo. Konami's later logo would look like that, which is what we're familiar with. And we got the Sega seal of quality, yeah. So on the front, you can see everything that's going to be happening. This is really good artwork. So you're playing as this guy, which when we talk about the story, we'll go ahead and introduce him. And we got the Justifier. I think it even says it on there. Yep, the Justifier. So it even tells you what gun you need, just in case you're unaware of what you want. Let's go and pull out the Justifier. Alright, so this is the Konami Justifier. Alright. It looks like a 44. It's got the word The Justifier trademark on the front of it. And if you look down it, it's got the infrared, whatever, that most light guns had, the little mirror finish, whatever. On the side, there's a button right there, and that's start. So whenever you hook this up, it's been a while, but I think you have to put it in controller port 2. You put it in controller port 2, and use the first controller port for the actual controller to get everything set up, and then when you want to start the game, you hit start after you calibrate it, whatnot. It's got your standard run-of-the-mill Genesis plug-in, which is totally fine. You can't see it because my camera's being a doucher. There we go. Interestingly enough, player 2 would have to plug in through this Ethernet port right here, or Cat 5, whatever the name of the cable is, and it would daisy chain into this. So this would be plugged in to number 2, and you'd have another gun daisy chained into that, which is pretty nifty. But yeah, Lethal Enforcers is a decent game. We're going to try our best to record it to the best of our ability. If it happens, it happens, but you know, it is what it is. Everything looks kosher here. This is a really good card. Right, let's go and talk some plot. Alright, let's go ahead and talk a little bit of plot. In this game you play as Don Marshall, who is just a cop in a really elite squad of people that has 2 people. He's the survivor. Anyway, it takes place in Chicago, which is really awesome. And you're sitting down at a donut shop, eating a donut, drinking a cup of coffee, when you get a call on the phone. Terrorists. No, they're not really terrorists. They're like mafia members or some organized crime institution that decided to invade Chicago and get in their cars with vans with slidey doors that they could shoot rockets out of, or something to that effect. I don't know. All I know is that you put down your cup of coffee, put down your donut, flock your nice suit, take out your trusty Konami Justifier. You go across the street to the bank and just start shooting bad guys. True story. That's exactly how the game goes. Now, like I said, whenever we record this footage, it is going to be on the Genesis. Totally 100%. But we are not using the gun because we can't use it. We don't have a CRT that's capable of doing it and recording it in a proper fashion. So to avoid that whole issue of having you have that big block of blackness that goes in the lines of interpolated bullshit, we're just going to be playing it with a run-of-the-mill control pad. Hopefully that's not too big of an issue. If I could have gotten an emulator ROM that would have worked for the light gun, I would have, but in the end, all we can use is the gamepad. I'm sorry. But enough out of me. Let's go ahead and pop in the game, see how it plays. That was loud for no reason. We're all professionals here. Let's just go ahead and play the game. Alright, so you're probably wondering why the hell I'm using my Retron 5, knowing full well that I've got a Sega Genesis that works. The issue that I have right now is that my Sega Genesis, alright, I'll just explain how everything gets set up. I have a Genesis that goes into a 10 DAC HDMI converter, which works for everything else that I've ever done. That goes into the Elgato, but for some weird reason, it's in black and white, and I can't figure it out. So if any of you know the solution to that, please let me know, because it's really annoying. So we're playing Lethal Enforcers on the Retron 5. Not a big deal, you know, it works just as well. Let's go and do it. Alright, Lethal Enforcers TM is a trademark of Konami Inc. Okay, Sega. Yeah. Konami. Listen to that little jingle. Alright. So right off the bat, it goes straight to like the arcade style screen with a leaderboard. I can dig that, that's awesome. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and get past this if we can. Lethal Enforcers. Traditionally it says it there, but I skipped it, so I guess it didn't do the intro. Alright. So I'm not going to have the option to do anything. Sweet. Alright. We're going to set it to joypad because the gun isn't in there. So obviously we're going to have the joypad. Alright, here we go. So this is the bank scene. This is the first scene. Everybody's freaking out. Everybody's losing their shit. The bank robbery. Okay. So you move around. Oh my god, this is janky. It's really weird to be using a... Alright. Super weird to be using a controller. The controller feels like it lags a little bit, and it doesn't move well at all. Alright. I don't know if I'm just gonna have an ability to do infinite continues, because if so, that's the thing. I'm gonna need it. Alright, come on. Alright, we gotta count our bullets, because I'm going through my bullets way too fast. Jesus Christ. Nope, I've only got 4 credits. I see it now. If I can't even get past the first scene, then I'm gonna be screwed. This is frustrating. It would be so much easier if I was able to just use the justifier. So, for me, if you're using the gamepad, button 1 is your fire, button 3 is your reload. Just always reload. Because you're going to have to focus more on trying to get... Yeah, there we go, I got him. Trying to get everything situated. Maybe once I get used to the controller, because the controller is funky. Oh my gosh. I'm losing half my lives just trying to get through this first level. Alright, you can kind of guess where they're going to come out. There's like an infinite amount of these guys. Alright, good. Don't shoot him. Yep, called it. Oh man. You've got like a 2-second reaction time. Alright, I guess we beat that level. Do we get a bonus life at all? Alright, cool. He's friendly. Don't shoot friendlies or else it demotes you. That would be bad. Get out of here with that bullshit. He's gonna take all my fucking lives. Oh my god! Jesus Christ, this is frustrating. I don't even get a chance to react to him before he shoots and kills me. The guy on the left is literally the worst. Alright. Yeah, this is a horrible feeling. Don't... The music's good at least. Very good arcade style music. But using this pad is a pain in the ass. I'm gonna lose all my lives, and it's only the second level. This is bullshit. This is frustrating. I'm not this bad at this game. And that's game over. Sorry, I wasn't able to talk much because I'm having to focus on all the shit. This is ridiculous. Well, that was a round of Lethal Enforcers. You know what? Screw this. We're gonna do this the way God intended it in 1992. Alright, so we're gonna try to record this again. We're playing on Adam the Advent, which is my old TV that I got from work. As you can see, we got everything hooked up to the traditional, Sega Genesis setup, which is cool. The controller on the right is going to be the gun, the right is the gun, the left is, whatever, just the regular one. Alright, I'm going to try to do this as quick as I can and try to get as far as we can, because unfortunately this camera has a penchant to overheat, so that's why I only record live action segments maybe at like 3 to 4 minutes a pop. So let's go ahead and turn it on real quick. And it should be popping up. Yep. Alright, I'm gonna take a seat because I'd rather sit down for this than stand up. Got a controller. We're gonna go ahead and press start, get it started. We're gonna go down to gun adjust. That's always important if you're playing these games. You need to calibrate your firearm. I'd say that's pretty accurate. Alright, so we're gonna go player 1 gun, and let's see if it turns out a little bit different than the experience that we had before. We're gonna go ahead and skip that. Oh yeah, that's incredibly better. Oh, come on. So this TV does this thing where sometimes if enemies are on the right side of the screen, it's hard to hit them. I don't know why. I think it might be a glare or something. Because the TV's not damaged by any means. But it makes playing games like Mad Dog, whatever, you know, really difficult on the Sega CD. Alright. Try to keep the accuracy high. If I remember right, you can fail these missions. I don't want to accidentally shoot her. Alright. Alright. Doing pretty good. Roll out. You know you want to. Bullshit, whatever. Might as well just take that shot, then worry about shooting the guy. Cause this, so no matter how much you like, come on, come on. Even if you adjust it, it's bound to like spray for no fucking reason. The guy's useless. So one of the things I don't like about this is that the scene is kind of progressive to where it moves, but unfortunately, it's super repetitive. Like this, National Rubber Stamp Company, that's just gonna be going by 30 fucking times. Alright, there's a guy driving the car, but it doesn't matter. Keep the gun trained on the car, that's something I remember. Because that car moves non-stop. So that's 2 people. 3 people. He went flying out. 4 people. Alright, just 4 people in that car. For some weird reason, I always think there's a lot more. Oh, get out of here. I hate this game. On the port, like if this was arcade it'd be fine, but then again usually there was a chair that was comfy. My chair is comfortable, but holding up a gun, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm older now. Alright, that's sprayed all the way to the right. You see that bullet? That's what I'm talking about, it's ridiculous. Unless that was his bullet and he missed me. Anything else? Nope, quiet. Let's get that 3rd car. Watch out for this guy. There's gonna be a guy in a motorcycle, if I remember right. He pops up and it's like really quick, so distracts you. There we go. I don't remember if there's anybody in this car. Just one guy. Nah, there's gonna be more than one. There's always like 3. 2. Their 3rd guy? Probably the driver. Yep. Maybe. Alright. Now we got the guy with the, whatchamacallit, the rockets, I think, in the van. He's gonna open up the door. Nope, he's just gonna kick off the door. Come on. My accuracy is gonna take a huge hit because of the way this gun sprays. Get out of here. Alright, let's see how we did. We probably didn't do good enough. Because that's just something that happens in this game. You're never good enough. $261 shots. I hit 165 of them. Accuracy 64, probably not good enough. Takes forever. Looks like I got a better score than usual, though. Too many rookie mistakes? Seriously? Alright, I'm not gonna pass this mission, but you pretty much get the gist of the game. I can't. It hurts my shoulder too much to hold the gun. And that sucks because I really wanted to play through this. But, yeah, you see how the gun works. Let's go ahead and rate the game. Alright, let's talk some pro tips. Lethal Enforcers. Pro tip number 1. Do not use the joypad. Or whatever the fuck it's called, gamepad. I used a 6 button and it felt sluggish. I tried the original one, it felt slow as 2. The cursor does not keep up to the action that's going on the screen. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. The gun, it's decent, I guess, but even then it felt like sometimes I was missing no matter what I did. But then again, that could have been my TV, that could be the gun, that could be anything. I'd have to actually sit down and look at other games that involve the Justifier, or maybe even the Minister cart, if it works for it, and see if it sprays the same way it does, for Lethal Enforcers. Tip 2. Accuracy is key. The only way to get past the first level is to get 70% accuracy. I had to look that up, but it's almost impossible if you're trying to hit him, dead on. At least with this gun. I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit different for other people. That's about all I've got. Just accuracy is key for the game, that's it. So let's go ahead and rate the game. Cart. So the cart's artwork is actually really awesome, and because of that, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Doesn't need any explanation. Gameplay. Now the gameplay is where it gets a little funky, only because it's a home port of a prominent arcade game. The one in the arcades, the art was better, it flowed better, I think that the reaction from the firearms were better, it was just an overall better game. But we got it on a home console, as well as a Sega CD, and ultimately it was kind of a weird transition. Some of the artwork wasn't where it needed to be. I felt the gameplay may have been impacted just a tad bit, so because of that I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Music! The music in the game is phenomenal. Grade A soundtracks. I wasn't able to make it to level 2, but I do think that every level has a different soundtrack. And if I get a chance to play it or maybe watch it back, it is what it is. 7 out of 10. Art. The art in this game is realistic in nature. The scenes are repeated, however, so that kind of makes it tough for me to give a fair judgment for this game. Because of the repeated frames and the overutilized graphics of the same person over and over again, I have to give this game a 5 out of 10. Fun! The arcade version was fun. I don't know if I'd call this version fun. I think, and I don't know if it's just because of how old I am now, 26, 25, whatever, or if I'm not used to holding up a gun like I used to, but my shoulders were hurting even sitting down comfortably playing this game. And I think that's because you have to aim so fine to hit anything that you want to hit. And because of that, I'm going to go ahead and give it a 6 out of 10. It's a good game, don't get me wrong, it's a good game, but it's very difficult to play for me. This is all based on my opinion. So that leaves us with an overall score of 6.8. So if we look at all the games that we played on the channel, Lethal Enforcers is number 7 now. That puts it below Chomai Kimura and above Ghosts and Goblins. Actually, there's a few tied for 6.6, so there's like 3 games for 8th place. But Lethal Enforcers is now in 7th place. In terms of genres of gameplay, this is the first shooter that we have played on the channel, so it is now in 1st place. Hopefully we'll be able to expand on that. We might have to do it the same way every time with the camera until we can find some, sort of workaround. In terms of games from the 90s, it is now in 5th place. Chomai Kimura beat it. In terms of games that we've played on the Sega Genesis, it's now in 3rd place. Sonic 2 is above it. And this is the first game that we've played, and this is the first Konami game that we played on the channel, so in terms of Konami games, it's in 1st place. But that's it for me today. If you like what you saw, please don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button. Also, hit that thumbs up and tell me down in the comments below what you're playing. I got a bunch of stuff on the wall, and I'm always looking for new games to experience. So that's it for today's video. If you like what you saw, please don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button. Also give this video a thumbs up, and down in the comment section below, tell me what you're playing. I got a bunch of games on the wall behind me, and I'm looking for an excuse to play them all, so, tell me something. But I guess that's all I got to say. Thank you so much for coming by today. From my family to your family, good energy, good vibes, Fortefyre out.